girl, welcome to my channel. My name is Ebony. If you are new here, welcome. Happy to have you. I make videos about locks and lifestyle stuff every Sunday, okay? And today we are talking about locks and your frequently asked questions. So yeah, whether you have newly locked are thinking about getting locks and you're just curious to know what goes on, or you've been locked for a while now. I've been locked for like a year and 4 months and some new things are coming up. You're in the right place, okay? You are in the right place. Let's get these questions answered. I had a series go up on TikTok and you guys asked a bunch of stuff, and then I asked a question on YouTube to see if you guys had any questions, and I got a few questions there. So that's how we're gonna split it up, the TikTok questions and the YouTube questions, and go just like that. And let's get straight up into it. Okay, first question, and I have it all on my phone, okay? So pardon my phone usage. Types of locks, okay? That's the question. It's really a statement, but the question is types of locks. What are the types of locks and what made me decide on mine? So there's so many different types, y'all. There's sister locks. Those are the really, really tiny ones where you have to have like, I know people have to be like certified to be able to do sister locks because there's like a specific grid or whatever. Then you have micro locks, which micro locks seem to like have gotten super, super big lately. Like people have been like putting mini twists in their hair and then just kind of like letting it turn into micro locks. Really cute, bigger than sister locks, but still like very small. And then you have like, I don't know, like small locks, medium. I don't even know what I would classify mine as. I don't know, small, medium. I don't know. And then you have like thick locks. Those could be like, you know, just thick the way you want them, or maybe they're free form, or then maybe you have wicks, which are those like really big ones. So there's so many different types. What made me choose my size was, that's really a good question. Okay, so when I knew that I wanted to get locks, I started looking at inspiration, and all the inspiration I had was like a medium size. But the more I think about it, the more I think about this one woman I used to go to church with. When I was a child, there was a woman with beautiful hair. Her hair was so beautiful. And she had locks, and they were really, really long. And she would wear them up in this bun, sometimes this ponytail, and they looked so gorgeous. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I think I subconsciously decided to get locks that are her size. Like, from a child, that just was like imprinted in my brain, and that's how I ended up here. But yeah, that's exactly how I decided what locks I wanted. I just figured what would suit me the most, what wouldn't take so much time. I knew I didn't want sister locks or micro locks, not because they're not beautiful, but just because I didn't think that that would suit me the best. So yeah, that's how I ended up here. Okay, next question. Interlocking or palm rolling? I do palm rolling. I do not do interlocking. From my understanding, interlocking works great for people who have very, very active lifestyles. Let's say you go to the gym every single day and you're like sweating your hair out every single day. You surf, you know, I don't know, skydive. Maybe skydiving doesn't matter, but like you are very active, okay? Or you have like a looser texture, you know? I have 4C hair, but let's say yours is like more in the 3 category. Maybe you need to get interlocking because it's like pretty hard for your hair to lock naturally. That's really what it is, right? Palm rolling, you're kind of just taking your hair and you're rolling it up and you pin it, you know? But interlocking, you're actually locking your hair, sometimes with like a crochet needle or something like that. I don't do that just because I don't feel like I need it. My hair stays locked on its own. So yeah, that's the difference between the two. So next one is how to prevent thinning. And I got this question because in my TikTok videos, I've been doing like a style series, and some people are like, dang, like I don't know how to like do this style without feeling like I'm pulling my hair out, you know? And the answer to that is just try to keep things as low tension as possible, you know? Even when I do my hair like this, like I've been really into the buns, I make sure to relieve the perimeter of my hair, you know, even in the back. If I feel like something's a bit tight, I will pull that lock like from the root away from the rubber band just to give it all some breathing room, you know? So nothing feels too tight. Like if it feels tight, pull some hair out, pull some hair, you know what I mean? Loosen it up. Like you shouldn't feel tight. You shouldn't feel like your head hurts. Like somebody was saying like the styles make her head hurt. Girl, we do not want your head hurting. Like, you know, just try to relieve some of the stress by pulling out some of the locks. I will say claw clips can be a little uncomfortable sometimes. It depends on the claw clip you use, but it's hard plastic on the back of your cranium. Like, I don't know how to prevent that, okay, if your head hurts, but actual like tension stuff, like that's how thinning happens, right? When you're pulling and pulling. Or if you're using like a product over and over that's not good for your hair, like maybe some edge controls or something like that, you're using it all the time, all day, every day, it could have adverse effects. But the edge control I use is fine for as often as I use it. And like I said, I don't try to pull too much. Also, I get my hair retwisted every 5 to 6 weeks. I know that I've heard that if you get your hair retwisted too often, that can also lead to thinning, especially when your locks are just starting out. They're just like getting into the groove, so don't do too much, you know what I mean? Don't manipulate them too much. Just give your hair a break. And that kind of is the same thing when you're like a loose natural, you know what I mean? Like you pulling your hair into a bun every single day like I used to, like, yeah, you know what I mean? That might thin you out up here, you know? So just take it easy a little bit, okay? And yeah, that's that. I think also the issue comes sometimes when you want to look very sleek all the time, like sleek. I put that in quotes because that's relative, but for you to feel like you need to have a retwist every 5 seconds, you know what I mean? Or to feel like you have to, you know, edge control down any new growth or something like that. Like take the pressure off of yourself, you know, and just relax. Like that is really gonna be what helps your hair be healthy and remain healthy. Just take it easy, you know what I mean? And know that you look good regardless of if you have a retwist that is 1 week old or 5 weeks old, okay? And just do some things to work around it. I do braid outs, of course, like you guys know that. Maybe there's certain sections that you might want to just retwist a little bit to see, you know, instead of doing your whole head so often, you just do the perimeter of it, or you just do like a quick little, like maybe sometimes I do like aloe vera. I'll put aloe vera down, use a little brush, put a scarf down, you know what I mean? Like no need to do too much manipulation. So yeah, just protect your edges, protect your hair. When you are getting locks, like let's say when you're starting it out, you're getting your starter locks. Okay. When you are getting starter locks, you should, or your loctician should be aware of how big the perimeters are, like the locks are around your edges. Those sections should be bigger than sections back here, okay? Because we do know as your hair gets longer, your hair starts pulling, you know? And if it's very small parts and your hair just gets longer and longer and longer, it's gonna be pulling. Next thing you know, you have no edges. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. And maybe when you're going to your loctician to just get your starter locks, if you're just starting out, let them know that, hey, I'm very like hyper aware of thinning. Like, can you make sure that this area is a little bit thicker to be able to substantiate the length and the heaviness of my locks over time? Because right now my locks is like nothing. They don't feel like anything, right? But let's say they get to be like here, you know, that's some pulling. So it is helpful to know that I have a healthy sized part here to be able to bear that weight, okay? So yeah, that's how I'd say to help prevent thinning. Lots of preventative measures rather than reactive, okay? Let's prevent first before we gotta react. Okay, so this next one goes perfectly into what we were just talking about with thinning edges. I have gotten the question a lot on particular videos of how do I get my hair to be thick? How was I able to thicken my hair up? One girl in particular said, I saw your first video, girl. So what did you do from point A to point B? How did we get here? And honestly, I didn't do much. I'll tell you that much. My hair looks completely different from when I first started out. And that's just because that's how the journey is. I think when you are 3 months in, it's very hard to imagine that your hair is gonna thicken up to this degree. But it does, it just does, you know what I mean? If you have very low density and fine hair, I can understand why you might be wary, you know? But I have very thick hair, so I can only speak on my experience. My locks looked very boneless to begin with, boneless. And now a year later and they're thick, you know? So I just think it takes time. It truly just takes time. And then of course, all those things that I mentioned from the how to prevent thinning will also help you maintain thick and healthy locks if that's what you want. So yeah, just be patient with it. Don't retwist it too much and just, yeah, just watch them. Just watch them. They will grow, okay? Moisturize them regularly. I'm telling you, they will thicken up. Next question, how to make a retwist last. I kind of touched on this already. I do braid outs in between. I do some like light, I use like aloe vera gel and a scarf sometimes. I do particular styles to mask some of this, but actually I was thinking that maybe it'd be worth it to do like a video series on that, because there are a few things that I do, and like I said, I stretch my hair from 5 to 6 weeks. If you guys care about that, I will make a video on what I do on those like last 5 to 6 weeks, and maybe like take you through those last couple weeks of like styles and things that I do with my hair to show you. I will say, earlier on in my journey, it felt 5 to 6 weeks felt longer than it does now. Like now that my hair is more mature, I think my retwists last longer. Like it might just be, I don't know, something I'm making up in my mind, but it feels that way. But I will still, I could take you guys through that and show you what I do on those last few weeks, because yeah, I have a little routine, okay? And then that was the main questions I had on TikTok. Oh, the next thing is I get a bunch of questions about how many locks I have. 71. I started out with 77 and I ended up having 71 because around the perimeter we combined some just look thinner than others. For some reason, I have different hair textures in my head, and I didn't realize that until I got locks. So some parts were the exact same size, let's say, but the hair looked different when it was locking up because the textures were different. So we combined some. That's why my grids are a little bit different on either sides, and then we combined some in the back. But yes, okay, so time for the YouTube questions. Let's see. If you get dry scalp flakes or dandruff easily, would you still recommend getting locks? Plus, how would you go about controlling that while having locks in? You know what? I do not get dandruff. I like to say that I have dry scalp. And a couple months ago, I felt like I was getting some flakes. But I ended up looking at something on TikTok, which I learned everything from TikTok. And it was saying that over moisturizing your hair can overproduce sebum, which is like your scalp's natural oil, and it can lead to flakiness. And once I stopped moisturizing as much as I was, then that stopped happening. So I actually do not have the answer to that question, just my own personal story. Bam. Let me know what you find out though. Let me know. Okay, next one is, how do you moisturize your locks without unraveling? How to prevent flattening of locks? Okay. Flattening is something I've never dealt with, and I don't even know what that would look like. From what you're saying, it sounds like you have looser hair. You have like looser textured hair. So flattening is just not something I would understand. I just don't know. But moisturizing them without unraveling. In the very beginning, I was very, very careful. Like I was so careful with my hair. I think your best bet is to get one of those misters, like a spray bottle like this one. But I see even better ones, what they have the mist. Yeah, I need to get me one of those, okay? You know what? I'm about to get myself one of those. But yeah, the mist, it comes on like a continuous little mist. And then you can just scrunch it in gingerly, you know what I mean? Without having to actually rake your hands through and stuff like that. Just like put some water, some of like oil, some oils that you like, and just spray it in there. Spray it in there and just scrunch scrunch gingerly, and do that like once a week or something. And I think you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I'm not sure about the flattening though. Let me know what you find. But that probably has to do with maybe not over moisturizing. So start with once a week and see how you feel. If I could go back in time, would I change anything about my lock journey? That's a good question, Blaine. Would I change anything? I mean, I'm sure I would, right? What can I think of? I guess I wouldn't change anything. What the heck? I was about to say something so corny, y'all. I was about to be like, well, I would have started sooner. What the heck? That's so corny. I guess I wouldn't change anything. There's nothing to change. It's so chill and low maintenance for me. Like, it really has just been smooth sailing. Like, it's not even that anything went wrong in a way that I want to change it. Let me get a good look at it. I guess one thing that I was nervous about when I first started was I really wanted to get diamond parts, just because I was like, that's just a little bit of my individuality peeking through. You know what I mean? With something so permanent, like, let me just at least have fun with this portion of it. And I almost didn't do it because I felt like it was going to be a hassle. A lot of the places I was looking for, it just seemed like they weren't going to be able to do it. And then of course it costs more. And I sit back and I'm like, yes, thank you so much that you did this all the time. Like, every single time I'm like, oh, thanks. And you know what? That just goes for everything in life. If you want things done a particular way, you're paying for it, you're setting something up, you think something is very important to you, go that extra mile to make sure that's done, because you are the one that's left with it at the end of the day. Like, it is your journey, it's your choice, your experience. And so get the most out of it. Don't cut corners for anybody else's feelings. This is just like, yeah, it's just advice for life, okay? Go that extra mile, okay? Because you deserve it and you're the one that has to live with those decisions, okay? So yeah, super small scale, the parting of my hair, but in general, that's a recipe for life. Okay. And then, do I retwist my locks myself? Y'all know I don't. Or maybe, I mean, hey, this question is on my YouTube, so the question is there. I do not. Have I? Yes. If I need to, will I? Yes. But for the most part, no. I'm gonna go to get a retwist 99.9% of the time. I just like when someone washes my hair and does it for me. I like going to a salon. I like not having to think about it. And I like the salon experience when it goes right. Y'all know all about my issues. I have a story time, retwist gone wrong, if you want to know what I mean by that. But yeah, for the most part, I like going to the salon. So yes, okay, that was all of the questions. If you have any more, put them in the comments of this video and we will get to chit chatting. Y'all know I love to talk back. You know I love to have a conversation. If you have locks and you're going through the process with me, hey girl, if you are thinking about getting locks and you're not sure yet, okay, or you're just like, I just want to hear about lock frequently asked questions, hey to you too, okay? Like, maybe one day we will be lock sisters, I don't know. But yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. But thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.